How's it going, everybody? I'm at the ICOM booth here at Hamvention talking to Will. Will's going to tell us a little bit about the fun stuff they got going on. Let me flip the camera over and give it to him. Will, how are you doing this year?
Man, we are doing so fantastic.
It's good to see you.
It's good to be seen, and it's good to see you as well. And we've got some exciting stuff this year, Josh.
Yeah, so where do you want to start with this? Because we got a lot of things to talk about, not just on this table.
Yeah. Let's start up here at the feature table.
Okay.
Obviously here at the front of our booth, most prominent as you walk in, two exciting new products here. This, on my left, your right, is the PW2. This is ICOM's upcoming new amplifier to replace the PW1. And it is very much an upgrade to the PW1 in every regard. You can see the control head here, detachable obviously from the main body of the unit, just as we could do with the PW1. It can also be attached to the front of the body here if you want it to be single piece construction.
Yeah, Ray was showing me the everybody figured out the cool release button.
It's super cool. I know we were geeking out a little bit about it yesterday. It's pretty neat. If I can get this back in without looking.
And so what are the specs on this for people that don't know?
So it's a 500 watt output on 120 volt or 1,000 watt output on 220 volt AC.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yep.
And you got what's the driver feed on it? What's your exciter power?
I'm not sure the exact spec on that one actually offhand. I would say probably somewhere in the 10 to 25 watt range though.
Okay.
Take it up to.
Do you think you can drive it with the 705?
That might be a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
Haven't tried that. I'm not sure if that's something we could recommend.
Okay.
It's certainly something we could try, I suppose, but I don't know the answer to that.
Mind if I swing around the back here and you show the inputs?
No, absolutely, because the back of it is very exciting.
I know. The front's slick, but yeah, check it out, guys.
But yeah, look at all the I/O on the back here. More antenna jacks than you can shake a stick at. Power cable.
Right, depending on how you have it.
Comes bare end, so we did have to install a 110 plug on it. Fuse and all that jazz, ALC and send relays down here.
Right.
All the things you expect to find on the back of a high-end linear.
And I was just going to ask you about that LAN port. Yeah, tell me about that.
Of course, you can see the network jack here. This is a device you can plug into your home network and use it in conjunction with ICOM radios using remote software and things like that. So
fantastic.
Yeah, we love our network connectivity. You're starting to see LAN ports in the back of more and more ICOMs. And so the PW2 here is just the next to take advantage of that kind of thing.
Very nice. So we heard about this next thing a couple of times online.
Right.
What is going on here?
So this is what we are calling the SHF P1 or Project 1. And sort of as it sounds there, the title kind of gives it away. It's an SHF project that they're working on in Japan as sort of a concept or a
super
prototype.
High frequency. Is that?
This is super high frequency.
Right.
That's exactly right. And this is a sort of a prototype, a concept radio even, if you will. So you can see here the way that they've got it set up is currently the control head is a 705, or at least it's in the body of the 705.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
The guts are not the same as you might expect.
Hidden guts. Okay, got it.
The chassis is obviously the same as we use for the 705. This is actually a device that goes out on your antenna mast. So the control head stays inside.
So you don't have any losses associated with the higher frequencies, right?
It's a PoE device, power over Ethernet.
Oh, fantastic.
So there's a cable that comes out of the control head here, then goes up the tower to the special connector here that goes into the box itself. Antenna connectors here for other various bands and things like that. SMA connectors up here on top. And,
so you could have multiple antennas on this, hypothetically.
You certainly could.
Depending on which bands, because I think we were talking beforehand, you said part of the reason for this is kind of asking the community what bands they'd like to see, right?
And so this is addressing a portion of amateur allocated bands that are not widely used.
Right.
And we don't like not using bands when we've got privileges on them. So this is something that could potentially fill a bit of a gap in the hobby, really, right now.
I think so. Yeah, I think this is something needed.
I certainly agree. And if you look in other parts of the world, these kinds of frequencies are even more popular there than they are here in the States due to various restrictions and things like that in those countries. So it's a cool project and is just one more example of the ICOM engineering team in Japan being really forward-thinking and looking to bring cool new toys to the forefront for us.
Now, I know you said this is most likely a shell, right, of a 705 that's being used as the controller.
Correct.
Could this be something that in the future we could use our 705s to control something like this? I mean, it's probably far off.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that because, again, this is a prototype's prototype.
Right, yeah.
And so, you know, we've had a chance to play with it a little bit. It will be under glass, I should say.
Yes.
Here in Dayton, when you come and visit us in the booth, we've obviously taken the glass off for the purposes of ease of filming here this morning.
Thank you for that.
But both of these, certainly, both of these things will be under glass. And the general rule of thumb for ICOM is that when we display something at a show under glass, it's about 12 to 18 months out from fruition. And in the case of the SHF P1 here, I would say it's perhaps even a bit farther than that.
Because this is more of a study. It's a prototype study device than
exactly
anything.
Right.
Yeah.
The PW2 here, though, probably 12 to 18 months, and we'll see it on the shelves.
12 to 18 months for the PW2.
Right. Rough ballpark.
Do you have a rough estimate on costs?
We do not.
You know I gotta ask though.
You gotta ask. You gotta ask, but I can't answer that one just yet.
Got some people hopping in there. Anything else you want to mention?
Well, we've got some other stuff in the back.
Oh yeah, we're gonna keep going.
We'll take a quick tour towards the back here, but let's see if we've got any questions about our.
Well, I'll be monitoring, but why don't we keep moving on? If we need to come back, we can. The joys of live, we can go back, guys. So
there we go.
All right, so we're coming around. We're about an hour out from the start of the show.
Back here, we've got some new analog products. Exciting stuff. So this I want to show you first here is what we're calling the T10.
Okay.
So this is an analog-only dual-band handheld, 5 watts, typical for what you'd expect out of most amateur handhelds on the market these days. This is, as I said though, an analog-only radio. So for those that don't want to play around with digital modes, things like that, D-Star most specifically, we've got the T10 for you now.
Okay.
5 watts, output
rugged
power,
right?
Ruggedized. It's an IP67.
Okay.
Rating. That means up to 1 meter submersion in water for half an hour.
Right.
It'll come back out and be just fine. 1500 milliwatt speaker.
Oh, okay.
So this thing will absolutely holler, big and loud. So it's,
do you actually? Is there signal? Can you turn it up? Crank it up. Let's see if we can hear it. Sound like there's somebody on there. Here, hold it up to your mic.
Go ahead.
Sorry for
Thanks for being here this morning. Is there abundance of other...
Quite loud, like over here. Yeah, I can hear.
Nice
I'm picking it
loud,
up on this mic.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, I don't want to blow
Yeah, we
the
blew
audience out of
everybody.
the water.
Yeah, they're all blown out now. Yeah.
Apologies to all our headphone users in the crowd this morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, quite loud. So it's a great radio. It's great for bug out bags and things like that. You can tell it's pretty small. I've got biggish hands, but it's a relatively small radio. And what's more, all of your ICOM accessories like microphones and things like that you've used with other handhelds in the past are going to work great with the T10 here. So nice.
And now that's pretty close to hitting the market, right? Or that's
very much so.
Yeah.
We've actually just released a bulletin to our dealers letting them know that we are ready to accept orders for the T10. And so for everybody out there that is interested in this radio and in the next one that I'm about to show you as well, get in touch with your favorite amateur radio retailer of choice and let them know that you want a T10, and they will be able to ship you one very soon, within the next couple weeks here.
Very nice. All right.
And then that other radio that I mentioned here is this one, the V3500. So this is
bright screen. It's even washing out the hold on, let me get real close so you can see it. There
and
we
bright.
go.
We've gotten rid of the amber backlight. I am personally a big fan of the brighter
white
backlight. Yeah.
People on the stream are seeing like a white box. I've got to get really close in for the numbers. But just know when your eyeballs see this, the numbers are extremely vibrant.
It's got extremely good contrast.
Right.
And it's a VHF mobile. 2 meters, 65 watt output power.
This is an upgrade to a previous model, right? You
could say that. So we had the V8000 for a long time, and it was discontinued. And it was missed, quite frankly. A lot of folks, had loved the V8000 and wanted it to come back, and so we've brought it back in a sort of modernized.
But very similar to the radio that people enjoy.
Extremely similar. Extremely similar. It is a more modernized design, a little more sleek than the V8000 used to be, but it's the same kind of performance profile.
Right.
You've got 65 watt output, adjustable 65 watt, 25 watt, 10 or 5. And then it is 2 meter, just 2 meters, so 144 to 148 megahertz. It's also got a pretty loud built-in speaker and some nice heat sinking on the back as well.
What about any I/O in the back? You got a speaker output, anything else?
Yep, you've got the speaker. I was worried that this was tied down, but it's not.
Okay, well you can just put that right in my bag if you want. I'll just take
great.
it. I'll do a review for you at the end of the weekend. I'll have it out.
Perfect. So it is pretty basic on the back here. but it is a you know, an entry-level sort of basic radio. So you've got your speaker output here. Of course, lots of heat sinking to keep it cool with that 65 watt output power, and then your single TXRX here
Right.
on an SO239. Speaker on the top. Of course, you can do the external speaker if you want.
Great.
This is a great radio. I like it. It is smaller than the V8000.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The V8000 was a bit of a chonker.
That's the new ham radio term we're using to define radio sizes. Is it a chonker or not?
It was a bit of a chonker.
Yeah.
So the V3500 here slims that down a little bit, but maintains all the things that made the V8000
Nice.
great. Nice heat sinking, runs cool. And same story as the T10 as far as availability is concerned. We have let the dealers know that we're accepting orders, and so if you want one, you should be able to get one very soon.
You want to give a relative price range that you expect?
MSRP
Okay.
is $260
For
both.
For both. Okay. So pick your poison.
Right.
Whether you want a handheld or a mobile.
Yep.
Sometimes, you know, I mentioned that I do like the mobile for new hams. It's often the better way to go. Oh, we got Hayden, Ham Radio DX. He literally showed up down in where he's at in Australia because he wanted to see the super high frequency, which I already showed. I'll go back around though for him.
Are we live? Or
Yeah, we're live. We're on his mic there. Yeah. So talking to Will.
Yell at Will?
Yeah, yell at Will. Just do.
approved to yell at Will.
Right. Yeah.
We'll tag team.
I just wanted to say good morning.
Yeah, good
Hopefully
morning.
You got a good crowd.
We do. Yeah, it was an early morning. 115 people right now. So
Wow, very nice.
I didn't plan this either. So when it just pops up like that, that's pretty good.
Try not to blow everybody out again as I
No problem, no problem.
Re-mic. Okay, so if somebody wanted to see the
Yeah,
SHF
but Hayden, you can roll back because we've already covered it, man.
That's true.
But it's okay. I'll check it again.
and we can just
Here you
take
go,
that-
Hayden. Are you watching? This is just for you, buddy.
Yeah. There you go.
I know he wants to see the I/O.
Sure.
So there's your I/O. It's power over Ethernet. Does this spin? Oh, it spins,
does.
but it's connected to power.
It is.
And then here's the
this
waterproof
is,
plug.
Yeah, waterproof housing for your PoE run. But it's just regular Cat 6. Nothing fancy.
Nice, very nice. And there's the 705 possible shell body used as. I mean, is this functioning on that frequency right now on this antenna, or is this for show?
As best as we can tell, this is mostly a mock-up show unit. Don't really, you know, we were poking around with the mock-up control module here, and there's, quite frankly, there's not a lot going on in here.
Right. So just a reminder, super high frequency project. Right. This concept, it's up there, so you'll see it. It's a concept radio.
That's what we're calling it. A lot of folks out there, I'm sure you're somewhat familiar with the ICOM naming structure, the way our numbers work in that. This one doesn't even have a number yet. It's the SHF, the Super High Frequency P1, Project 1.
And the idea, again, is to get feedback from the community on what bands they'd like to see in something like this. So that's what this is about.
Is this something that excites you? Let us know.
Let us know in the comments, guys. Is this exciting that you could potentially hook a 705 up, and then this is basically like a transverter at that point, right? Functions in that way to get higher frequency output and capabilities. I think so. I'd sign me up for one.
I agree. You know, it's something that we have. It's a new toy, right? It's a new toy for the toy box. We have privileges here, so why not use it?
That's a fantastic point, Will, and I think you mentioned it, but we should probably dive in a little bit on that. This is a very good way to use the bands, right? We're always saying we need to use the bands or we lose the bands, and the bands that this would be on, we're not using enough. We're not using them enough. So that's exactly. I appreciate ICOM for doing this. That's exactly what we need.
It is. It's important. You know, it's RF spectrum is like land. They're not making any more of it.
Right, and they want it back.
We gotta make sure that we're making our best use, and they want
it back. We gotta make hay.
Exactly right.
That's right. All right, Will. I appreciate you taking the time this morning. We haven't even started yet, but look forward to more videos.
Yeah,
appreciate you doing this.
The show opens up here in earnest in about 45 minutes. So for all of you who are out there watching the stream in the parking lot, waiting to break in the doors, come and see us.
All right, the line's huge already, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
It feels like it might be bigger than 2019 from what I've seen.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait.
All right, thanks again, Will.
Absolutely.